Back. We're here with the Pilates pro, Jennifer Hildebrandt. Jennifer, you were so kind in letting us come to your Pilates studio. How did this start?
Oh, Pilates?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, I like to say I originally started Pilates many, many years ago. I saw probably a late night infomercial, bought some videos online, or not even online, it was on a late night commercial, TV commercial. And I just started doing Pilates in my living room and did that for a number of years. And after my husband died, there's a whole long story behind that, but I do feel like intuitively part of my grief process was my body just told me to move. And for whatever reason, Pilates was that thing that I was drawn to. And I became certified as a teacher shortly after his death. And I just became really enamored with Joseph Pilates himself and the history of Pilates, because many Pilates programs don't talk about it. A lot of people don't even know that there is a man behind the name of Pilates. And he actually called his work Contrology. My shirt says Contrologist. I am a Contrologist. And the more I learn about Pilates, the more I am really gravitating toward his original work. It's just, I find it really interesting and really profound for the body.
You know, you're talking about that intuitive pull that you had. And you know, Pilates is really known for, as you were saying with Natalia in the studio, that core and everything here. And it just kind of feels, again, that intuitive stuff comes back with like the core. So what have you learned about being a contrologist? How does that translate to Pilates?
Yeah, I think the basis of that word is control. So I used to say that every single Pilates exercise was a core exercise, which is true. You're always trying to be moving from our core. But I have since expanded that definition to say that every single exercise is a whole body exercise, and we're trying to do all of these exercises with control, and it really does start from our center. And when I start working with people, it's an interesting response that people have. It's that intuitive feeling, like all of a sudden people come home to their bodies in ways that they haven't in many other modalities of exercise. And I even have people start crying. It's a really profound experience. Not always, it doesn't always happen, but when people connect to their bodies in that real foundational way, it's like all of a sudden everything, not just the Pilates exercises, but everything we do outside of the Pilates world becomes so much more mindful. You feel more in control. Things feel like you're moving with more ease and grace, and it's just a really cool thing for people to experience.
Wow. Jennifer, you've been doing Pilates for 13 years, correct?
Yeah, about 13.
So what transformation have you seen from beginning to now?
Oh wow, I had no idea what I was doing in the beginning. I was just flopping around like a dead fish on my well, dead fish don't flop. Almost dead fish on my living room floor. And once I became a teacher, I just found out how much I still don't know. And I thought, well, why is this exercise hard for me? So I just started to get really curious about the exercises, and I started to dig deeper into Joseph Pilates' philosophy and the whole lineage of his work. And a lot of it, I would say Pilates is almost like a precursor to physical therapy. It was really very therapeutic and very prescriptive in its original form. And that's kind of the perspective that I take with Pilates now. And it's just, the body is amazing. There's so much for all of us to always be uncovering and recovering and discovering in our own bodies. And I think Pilates is just a perfect tool for that.
You're kind of hitting my next question, but if somebody is watching right now and they think maybe Pilates is the move that I need to take, how would you recommend people to start Pilates?
You know, there's so many ways to get into it. Some people start going to group classes, like, oh, I see a Pilates class at the Y. You know, it's a great place to start. But I think that's where people oftentimes go, oh, well, Pilates is too hard. I can't do mat work, if that's their initial exposure. So I definitely encourage people to even just take a handful of private sessions with somebody who teaches Pilates.
Brush the hair off.
Contrologist.
Yes.
And get to know your body a little bit more personally, because it's really not about doing exercises the way the person next to you in the class is doing. It's really about finding your own strengths, your own weaknesses, and starting to reconcile those differences. So I think private or small group classes are really a good way to go, because you do get more of that individual attention.
We're wrapping up on time, but if somebody wanted to come to your studio, how can they do so?
They can find me at, my studio is located at 1434 North Broad Street. It's in the Turtle Lot neighborhood, and I'm right next to Moulin Rouge Salon. So they can come down there. They can find me on jenniferhildebrandt.com is my website.